Alright guys, this is one of the only movies you are ever going to see where you see apes riding horses, firing automatic weapons, and speaking the English language all in one movie. That is reason enough to go pay money to go watch this movie. Anyway, hey there guys, what is up? It is Autobot Mike 18 here. Guys, it is great to be back on YouTube. This is my first new video that I just made for YouTube since I've been back on my vacation. I've been away all of last week on vacation, guys. I am now back, and I'm slowly starting to catch up with things that I've missed. And one of the biggest things I missed while I was away on vacation was seeing this movie opening weekend. And that's what I'm going to be doing in this video. I'm going to be giving you guys this review for this movie. I know it's a few days late. I do apologize for that, guys. But like I said, I was on vacation with my family, so I did not get a chance to see this movie opening weekend like I intended to. But nevertheless, I have gotten a chance to see it a few days later. And the movie that I will be reviewing in this video, guys, is the sequel to the 2011 hit blockbuster sci-fi film Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and it is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Now guys, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is helmed by a new director. Matt Reeves directed this movie. He's the director of Cloverfield, and this is the sequel to 2011's Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which was arguably one of the better films that came out in 2011. I actually just reviewed that movie. I gave it a very good score. I enjoy that movie, and a lot of people put that as one of their favorite films of 2011. A lot of people really liked that movie, and a lot of people were really looking forward to Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. This is one of the most hyped up films of the summer as the summer movie season continues. And what I'm going to do right now, guys, is get right into the premise behind Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Now, guys, the movie is set roughly 8 to 10 years. I'm pretty sure it's 10 years after the events of the first Rise of the Planet of the Apes. By the way, this film is the second film in this reboot series of the Planet of the Apes movies. We had the original Planet of the Apes movies, now we have the reboot series. The first film was Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and the sequel is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. So this film is set roughly 10 years after the events of the first movie. I know that because at some point in the movie, one of the apes says it's been 10 winters since that virus broke out, or whatever, I'm paraphrasing. So it's roughly been 10 years, and a good majority of the human population has been absolutely wiped out by that virus that was originated at the Genesis lab in the first Planet of the Apes movie. And that virus is known as ALZ-113. The virus has infected a good chunk of the human population, and there is only a there's several small groups of survivors hanging around in the world, but the film focuses on one main group located somewhere in California. They are slowly running low on resources, and they are struggling so hard to survive. Now, that is actually the secondary story of this movie. That's the human side of the story. The main side of the story, the first primary story that's going on in this movie, is the story centering around Caesar and the other apes. Caesar, with the motion capture work done by the great Andy Serkis. Now, Caesar and the other apes have gathered and created their own sort of civilization after they escaped and took their freedom in the end of the last movie. They've gathered somewhere in the woods, they have built up their own civilization, and the only thing they want to do is basically live peacefully and, you know, not be harmed, basically, because there's still humans out there. Some humans may want to get them, and all they want to do is just live peacefully, coexist amongst the humans. That is exactly what Caesar wants. He is basically the leader of the group of the apes. And that's all I'm going to say about the premise of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Now, I know it sounds like a mouthful, but I basically summed up the first 2 minutes of the movie where they literally explain that the apes have, colonized, and they have their own, group, and that the humans, that virus wiped out most of the humans. That's literally narrated in the beginning of the movie. And there's so much else going on in this movie, guys, but I don't want to spoil a thing because so many things took me by surprise in the movie that I don't want to spoil anything for you. So that's all I'm going to say about the premise of the movie. Now, I was definitely looking forward to Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, without a doubt, as were most of you. Rise of the Planet of the Apes, I already did an old movie review for it, like I said earlier. If you want to check it out, link will be somewhere in this video if it wasn't up already. I liked the movie, but Rise of the Planet of the Apes is one of those movies where you go in, you watch it, and you don't feel like watching it for like a few more months or something like that. You feel like you don't want to watch it for another year or two. You know, it's not one of those movies where it's one of those movies. It's good, but it's not extraordinary. You know what I mean? You know, I like that movie, but I don't love that movie. So with Dawn of the Planet of the Apes coming out, I was really looking forward to a much stronger sequel. I wanted things to be improved on. I wanted to see just an overall better movie. And that is what I got with Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. But the thing is, after I walked out of this movie, I said to myself, this movie went above and beyond my expectations for the movie. That's how good Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is, guys. That's right, guys. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is single-handedly one of the best movies of the year thus far, and also one of the best sequels I can remember in recent memory. I know this year we had a lot of great sequels. We had Captain America, we had X-Men, now we have Apes, and this is one of the best sequels in recent memory in regards to, I walked out of the movie and said to myself, I can't remember the last time I got this excited after watching a sequel to a hit movie. And it's Apes, okay? It really is. I really loved this movie, guys. It went above and beyond my expectations. The main thing that I loved about Dawn of the Planet of the Apes so much, here it is. It's that it did what a sequel was supposed to do, but many fail to do nowadays. It literally made every single thing better, or as compared to the first movie. It took the writing, it took the acting, motion capture work, and human acting. You know, the storytelling, the directing, the visuals, all of that is enhanced in this movie, making it thus a better movie. And that's what I love about Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Now, the writing in this movie, I'm gonna say that while it's not the premise isn't completely original in regards to the human story. We've seen this before. We've seen it in I Am Legend. We've seen movies where people get infected by like a certain virus or something. So that aspect of the movie we've seen before. But the whole aspect with the apes, how they're they're intellectually evolved. Okay, they're very smart. They can speak English. They can yell. They can scream. They can do all these things because of that ALZ thing, okay, from the first movie. It's so cool how the story of this movie doesn't focus on the humans like with the first one. It focuses on the apes. It makes us care for the apes. It develops the characters of the apes. They are characters. They're not just apes in the movie. They're actual characters, and you actually give a crap about them. And that's what I love about the story of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, as I did with the first one. It focuses on the apes. It makes you care for the apes. There's a few depressing moments involving the apes in the movie. There's a big amount of emotional weight regarding the apes, and that's what I really enjoyed about Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. The movie works as a sci-fi film, as an action movie, as a drama even, and I really like that. It has everything you want in a summer movie, basically. Now, I know I just went on raving about the movie. One thing I didn't even get into yet are the performances of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Now, I'm going to briefly get into the human cast, because they are the secondary characters in this movie. You have Jason Clarke playing one of the main human characters in the movie. His name is Malcolm, and he befriends Caesar and meets the other apes. Kerry Russell plays sort of like his partner slash wife. I guess they kind of clarify that, kind of. And Gary Oldman plays like the leader of the surviving human colony located in California. And I can say this much, Jason Clarke, very good actor. He's been in a lot of hot movies lately. It was good to see him in this. Kerry Russell is there, and while I really enjoyed how her character was so much more important than Frida Pinto's character in the first Apes movie, I love how her character was very important. Anyone could have played her. I mean, she was fine, but anyone could have played Kerry Russell's character. Her character was important in the movie, important in a few things involving the apes, but that's all I'll say about that. And Gary Oldman, man, my goodness, I love seeing Gary Oldman in movies. He is such a good actor. There's a scene where he's giving this long, like 2-minute speech, and it even got me motivated. I'm sitting there and I'm like, I could listen to Gary Oldman talk all day long and I'll get motivated by it. Thank you, Gary Oldman. Now, getting into arguably the best, not arguably, the best part of the acting in this movie, without a doubt, goes to the motion capture work done by all the actors doing the motion capture work for the apes, with Andy Serkis as the head doing Caesar. Now look, I know a lot of people raved about his performance in the first movie. I thought it was really good. A lot of people said he should have even gotten an Oscar nom for that. You know what? I thought it was a very good performance in the first Rise of the Planet of the Apes. This movie, wow. He is so good in this movie. I kid you not, guys. It will be a major upset if he gets snubbed at the Oscars this year. I would love to see him get Oscar love for that role. I know it's not going to happen. I think most of us know it's not going to happen. But if it does, it'll be one of the biggest shocking surprises in the history of the Oscars. But he is so good in this movie as Caesar. Just the mannerisms, the voice, everything. He has to actually emote with facial expressions the way Caesar would, as we see on screen. That's Andy Serkis' facial expressions. He does a perfect job as Caesar. I was doing nothing but rooting for Caesar throughout the whole entire movie, and Andy Serkis is excellent. While I haven't seen the Lord of the Rings movie, so I can't comment on what I think of him as Gollum, because I haven't seen those movies, I can say this much. This is one of the best performances I've seen Andy Serkis give for motion capture work, without a doubt. He was excellent in this movie as Caesar, as were the other actors doing the motion capture work for the film. Now, guys, I gotta take a breath for a second, because I'm going to get into my rating for Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, get into a few more things I really loved about the movie. I know a lot of you are going to get upset with me here. Some of you are going to be like, Mike, just go all the way. You've been praising this movie the whole way through. And guys, while I really enjoyed this movie, like I said, it's one of the best movies of the year thus far. It's one of my favorite sequels in recent memory, and it's a great sci-fi film. I just can't go all the way. I don't really have any problems with this movie either. I just really enjoy it for what it is, but I don't know what it is. I'm just not feeling the perfect score. I think after I see this movie again, I would give it a perfect score, but as of right now, I've only seen the movie once, so I'm going to judge what I thought about the movie on that one viewing. So I'm going to give Dawn of the Planet of the Apes a very high, close to perfect grade of 9.75 out of 10. I know, I came this close. I was so torn. I literally was driving home for 20 minutes and I just couldn't, I was torn between a 9.5 and a 10, so I cut it right down the middle, 9.75. That will change after I watch the movie again. But as of right now, that's the grade I'm sticking with. If I had to give any complaints with the movie, I would say that, like I said earlier, the human aspect does feel similar as it has, you know, in I Am Legend. We've seen that before. And I could also say that while I love the relationship between Jason Clarke and Caesar in the movie, I definitely enjoyed the James Franco-Caesar relationship a bit more in the first movie. But that's really all I have to say. That's honestly being nitpicky. What I want to get into now are things I did not mention that I loved about the film. Like I said, the acting is great, the motion capture work is incredible, Andy Serkis kills it as Caesar, carries the movie as Caesar, makes you want to care for Caesar, and it's not, you know, it's not just the writing of these characters, because the characters of the apes are so well developed. It's not just that, okay? There's even another ape in this movie that is so well developed. He sort of butts heads with Caesar. That's all I'm gonna say, okay? I don't want to spoil anything. That character is even so well developed. All of the apes are so well developed, but it's not just the writing on the apes, on the part of the apes, that make them such memorable characters. It's the performances from the motion capture actors, and Andy Serkis, my man, you did a phenomenal job in this movie, by far. Like I said, as I praise the writing, the storytelling itself is just excellent. This is just entertaining, popcorn summer movie fun at its best. The story is engaging, it's compelling, it's filled with tension towards the end and the middle of the movie. It has a extremely satisfying ending. I cannot wait for the next Planet of the Apes movie already. The ending is incredible. The story writing is just so much better than the first, and I really loved it this time around. Very engaging, entertaining sci-fi film from that point of view, you know, of a sci-fi film fan, I guess. The film, Matt Reeves directing it, oh my goodness, this guy, he really impressed me at Cloverfield. He did a great job with this movie. The shots were so well set up. They were well framed. The apes were perfectly in the frame of each shot, you know. Each scene was lit so beautifully. The vivid colors of the scenes in the forest. Matt Reeves did a perfect job directing this movie. And I have to say, after watching it, I said, you know what, this is that type of movie you watch and you say to yourself, I could actually see this happening in real life. Like, these apes, they feel real. It feels like this is actually happening. It feels like we're all going to get wiped out from a virus one day. That's how real and authentic this movie feels because of Matt Reeves' direction, the story writing, everything. The visuals, I'll get into the visuals. The score was great, even though it felt a little off in a few scenes. Editing was excellent, and last but not least, the visual effects are absolutely breathtaking. There is an opening scene in this movie involving the apes, and my mouth was just like, this is just incredible. This is... this film better get nominated at the Oscars for Best Visuals. That's all I have to say, okay? It will, and it might even win, and it deserves it when you look at it. The visuals in this film are just jaw-dropping. The apes look so real and authentic. Just the scenes where they're fighting, they're you know, like touching things. Like, it looks so real and authentic. It blows your mind. What can I say? The visuals are just incredible. And it just adds to the realism that this movie gives off as a sci-fi film. And that's what I really loved about Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. It's a near-perfect movie, guys. I almost went 10, but I gave 9.75 out of 10. That's the grade I'm going to stick with. I highly recommend you check this out. It's one of the best films you'll see this summer, and it's one of the best movies you're going to see this year, without a doubt. Definitely recommend you check out Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. 9.75 out of 10 for me. I can't wait to pick up the Blu-ray. And I cannot wait for the next Apes movie. So, guys, if you have seen the movie, you probably already have, let me know down below what you thought of the movie, and let me know if you think this is one of the best films of the year or not. You could not have liked it. I loved it, though. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. It's great to be back on YouTube. I will see you in my next video. Bye.